Test Drive with Graham Fletcher.
This is the sales brochure for this week's car on test drive, and it, like the car, is Wagnerian in proportion. This is the new for '92 Mercedes-Benz 400 SE, the latest S-Class sedan. Until you have driven the new Mercedes-Benz S-Class, you have not driven a car that can be termed fully loaded. Take a look at some of these little extras. When reverse is selected, two chrome pointers rise up out of the rear fenders. These assist the driver when backing up. The rear headrests fold down at the touch of a button. Push yet another button and a sunscreen powers up to shade the rear passengers from the sun. There is an infrared key that locks all the doors as well as closing any open windows and sunroof, and all the doors and trunk lid feature power pull-ins. Now, believe it or not, our test car was far from being fully loaded Mercedes-Benz style. There are still no fewer than 7 additional items that total a staggering $17,500. The front seats are probably the best in the industry. In addition to the usual power adjustments, the seat base can be adjusted for length. This ensures perfect thigh support. The radio, complete with a CD player, features no fewer than 11 speakers, the knock being that it is the most complicated setup I have yet to encounter. As far as safety is concerned, the 400 SE is a standout. It has airbags for both the front passenger and driver and features very large knee bolsters. They even thought to include a first aid kit just in case. You'll notice just how thick the glass is on this particular automobile. The reason is there's a 3mm air gap between two panes of glass. The reason Mercedes-Benz have opted for this is to make use of the thermal advantage of double glazing, as well as using the additional sound insulation that this setup provides. We conducted an abbreviated version of our usual skid pan tests because the S-Class is a luxury touring sedan and not a sports car. Having said that, we did venture through the pylons a couple of times. There is quite a lot of body roll, mainly induced by the sheer enormity of the weight transfer during directional changes. Around town, the car feels ponderous and almost clumsy. However, get out on an open road and it feels as steady as a rock. The portion of the skid pad we deleted was the acceleration test. This was because the transmission pulls away in second, and only if you tromp the gas pedal does it engage first. However, once the tranny decides to cooperate, there is an ample power supply, especially in the mid and upper ranges. The power is supplied by a 4.2-litre quad-cam 32-valve V8, which produces 282 horsepower and 302 pounds-feet of torque. As with many other luxury cars, I tried my loony trick. As you can see, it passed with flying colours. The 400 features a disc brake setup complete with an anti-lock feature. The discs themselves are enormous and thankfully ventilated. This is important on this car because of its sheer weight. The heat generated bringing a 4,700-pound car to rest would melt lesser units. You're looking at my pet peeve on the Benz. If I had just shelled out 6 figures for an automobile, the last thing I need is an instantaneous readout on fuel economy. If I did, I obviously can't afford the car. But the problem with it is that the needle swings back and forth so much that it ends up being a distraction. Anyway, now to the scoreboard for a rundown on the 1992 400 SE. Despite the highly technical nature of the suspension and its advanced design, the car displayed a rather cumbersome nature until you start to use its capability. At this point, the whole setup becomes very poised and felt highly controllable and very stable. With enormous ventilated discs at each wheel and a sophisticated ABS system, the 400 SE stopped in remarkably short distances given the vehicle weight. We required just 118 feet to stop from 80 kilometers an hour. I did, however, note a fair amount of nosedive at the limit. The 4.2-litre V8 engine under the hood offers a plentiful supply of power. When pushed, the car accelerated to the 100k mark in brisk fashion, although it did not quite feel as quick as Mercedes-Benz suggests it should be. Mid and upper range performance is, however, exceptional. 4,700 pounds of automobile sitting atop a 120-inch wheelbase equates to a wonderful ride. Add this to the best seats on the market and a marked absence of engine and wind noise, and things just don't get any better. During the test, we averaged a thirsty 16 litres per 100 kilometres or 18 miles per gallon. Now, these figures didn't surprise me, and if they bother you, this is not the car for you, even if you can afford it. The 400 SE more than qualifies as one of the world's great cars. It is technically sophisticated, extremely comfortable, and exudes an aura of affluence. The hitch in the get-along is how you justify the price in today's economic climate.